Hello, everyone and no one, and welcome to another Rotten's Guns. Currently, don't have any range footage that I've really deemed worthy, mostly because of arguing with the mic. So I thought today I'd go over some of my guns that I've actually gone through and had different grips for. Uh, in all reality, only two of these on this entire table have I had to do anything to fit them to the gun. But most of them it's just been simple put in, or I've had just the simple words put on. One of the only ones I had issues with from purchase was the ones for my para. When I initially bought these grips, the first ones they sent me, this little tab here had been broken somehow in shipping, so I had to return them and got these ones on there. And I could have kept the originals because they were still G10 grips, but I just liked the look of this ones. Sometimes you want to be a little flashy, but I'm gonna get this out of the way to give myself some room. Uh, these were the Beretta grips that I bought for my 96. It's one of the two that I bought different grips for that I'm not showing here. The other one is one of my Beretta Bobcats, my 22 LR version. Yeah, I'd originally bought these grips to put on my 96 while I was doing a um, Samurai Edge build for the Resident Evil games, which eventually I need to do a video just strictly on that one. And then they eventually went to my M9 that I had bought while I was still in the service to practice with that gun. Obviously, there's a Desert Eagle on here. I got rid of the rubber grips just because I didn't like how they were. The gun's already freaking massive compared to other guns, and it was exponentially more difficult to get a grip, especially with the, as you see, my right hand is a little more messed up. The one that's the hose for my O Hunt went and got some. I want to say these are VZ grips because finding the 92X compact grips are exponentially more difficult. I went with a purple and black just because I thought that looked really cool. I'll move this to give myself a little more room as well. For my Rhino, since I have two Rhinos, I got a 5-inch Rhino that I have the Hogue grip for. Been nicer to put this on the 6-inch Rhino, but I don't own one of those. This is just a super fun shooting gun, and if you've ever shot a revolver, it's pretty well known. The other one that was weird, I've had two different grips for this one that were honestly 3D printed. These ones aren't rubber material like the other one was that I did have to go through and kind of get the knuckles or the finger grooves down a little bit. I'm not usually the biggest fan of them. But this one kind of turns it into like the Mateba Unica you have at home or order off Timu. It's funny because I want to say this one's actually got CZ75 compact grips on it, and it's actually a Canic. This is one of their older ones. Actually chambered in 380. Fun little gun. I've had some issues with it not wanting to chamber properly. It seems like it's just not fully broken in. Get that out of the way. Yeah, just kind of setting stuff around. Got my Jericho in 40 Smith and Wesson. Then again, when I also bought this, I mean, I still like 40 Smith and Wesson, but I bought this when 40 Smith and Wesson was still super popular. The FBI hadn't really changed back to 9mm quite yet. They were just in the testing for it. These ones are actually kind of funny. I think I have it on. No, I don't have it on. Uh, don't remember who made them, but they're J-frame grips that are also a flashlight. It's a pretty decent bright flashlight as well. It's just finding a holster is going to be, exponentially impossible for it. Changed the grips on my 1911, but I'll get on my Rock Island, but I'll get to that in a moment. We'll go with this one, my North American Arms Pug, which I changed. I got these grips off Amazon, which I know people are gonna get pissy about that, but you can find decent stuff on Amazon. They give a little bit more of a ledge because since I've broken this finger twice, these two fingers, these two bones. So my hand's a little more messed up to some other people. It does the natural Spock thing. So when it should be grabbing better, my fingers are going apart a bit more. But I had to go through and sand through here so that way it wasn't rubbing on the chamber, not the chamber, but on the cylinder. Add some tape to the bag to make sure it was actually fitting and sitting properly. Otherwise, it was going to wobble. Get that out of the way. These ones for my TriStar were pretty cool because the ones that are on this 1911 were supposed to go on here, but due to the slide release, slide stop, it's actually extremely thick through here, so it actually rubs on this thing. So the original grips were fine, but I had to go and sand these G10s to get it to actually function. It's just a fake bullet. Yeah, quite literally, it couldn't fully go down, which was super annoying. So now we'll go on to really the last one. It's just going to be a shorter video just for something to have. These are the ProMag grips, which I know some people might get irritated about ProMag. Some of their stuff is okay, some is not, but it's their Archangel 1911 grips that give it a magwell as well. I've got some different screws on order that are coming in. They're going to be lower because these ones point out quite a bit, as you can kind of see. And they're aluminum. If they'd have been G10 as well, I'd have just gone ahead and sanded them. So there's a little bit of sanding in here that I just redid over with a Sharpie because I was not going to work that hard on it. Getting these G10 grips to fit this gun took me like a half hour of using some 230 grit sandpaper and then some higher grit. And about the only other thing I've done with these ones was just went and deburred some spots, because since they were 3D printed grips, which aren't bad even with some 357 Magnum, just need some of the edges rounded off. Otherwise, yeah, that's really all the grips I've changed I can think of right offhand, other than some other revolvers. And just thought I'd do that as like what you may come into to view if you ever go through it. Like I said, this TriStar, it's just because of how massive this slide release comparatively to a regular 1911. It's super thick through here, when usually your extended ones are relatively thin. They arch up a little more. I don't have my Kimber here because I think that one has it. But yeah, typically whenever you buy grips, you're really not going to have to do much to them other than install them. I know with the Jerichos, the 941s, or the Baby Desert Eagles as they're called, I think it's if you have the 3rd gen steel frame 9mm, they're super hard to find grips for because the screws moved up, the actual grip panel's even smaller. So depending on what you're going for, like this one wouldn't be Cowboy Bebop because of the fact it's not a 9mm. It also has a rail. I might be able to find a conversion barrel for it. I haven't checked. I think that's all I got for today. This is just to get something out because, like I said, all my range footage, it sounds god awful, and I just really haven't deemed anything decent. So for those of you who watched for the thing of my mess here that's grips, appreciate you.